Hey, what's up, my friends? Happy 2025. It's amazing to be back with you. As you may know, I have been on a little bit of a hiatus, spending some time with myself and just trying to get myself in a position to come in 2025 ready to take on the challenges of life. So over the course of the last couple of months, I've been on a bit of a grand adventure, to say the least. In fact, I've been to over 10 countries since October. Left Las Vegas, written another book called Mission Driven Coaches, which you can actually check out at missiondrivencoaches.com. I've been working on my physical health, my mental health, relationships, friendships, and more. And so, one of the things that I wanted to do towards the end of 2024 is take some time, much needed time, for myself. As you know, for over 7 years, we put out hundreds of episodes of the podcast, many of them me having conversations with you through this microphone like today. And one of the things that happened towards the end of last year is I started to feel a bit of burnout around the constant recording, and I knew that I needed a break. So you may have noticed over the course of the last few weeks, there's not been a new episode. Today is the first new episode, and it is 2025. It is amazing to be here with you guys. And as I sit recording this, looking out my window, seeing the ocean, and just thinking about the journey, I just have a lot of gratitude. And first and foremost, I just want to say thank you to those of you who still continue to listen to the show, to leave reviews, to leave comments, to tell people about the show. And it means the world to me. You know, when I set out to create Think Unbroken, the only thing in my mind was, can I help people on their healing journey create transformation? And I know that this journey is very difficult. There's literally nothing easy about overcoming childhood trauma, about learning to love yourself, and ultimately being the hero of your own story. Like, there's nothing easy about it. I wish there were, but there just isn't. And so as I'm thinking about what it looks like to build our lives in this year, what continually comes to mind is, how do we put ourselves in a position to be successful this year? And one of the things that I'm focused on in terms of my own personal goals is really trying to evaluate and understand, what do I want? Clarity in terms of getting a very in-depth understanding about what it is that we want is the cornerstone to success in life. If you think about this, when you have clarity in your life, you are more apt to have success. And people ask me a lot of times, well, what does clarity have to do with healing trauma? Well, it comes in this aspect of looking at and understanding that when you have clarity, you have a direction to move towards. One of the things that happens when we come from traumatic backgrounds is we don't fully understand autonomy, how to be ourselves, how to be an individual, our wants, our needs, our interests, our boundaries. And so we kind of get lost in the shuffle about what it means to be a human being. And the hardest part about that is, in getting lost around what it means to be a human being, is that instead of us living life by design, we live life by circumstance and what happens. And I personally have been there many times over, where I'm sitting looking at my life asking myself, is this really what I want? And then I grab a pen and a piece of paper and I start writing down some ideas. So one of the things that I focus a lot of my energy on is called the Triad of Life: health, wealth, and relationships. And in the Triad of Life, what I'm able to do is create a foundational understanding about what it is that I want to accomplish. I'll give you a couple of examples. So here's what you do. You grab a piece of paper and a pen. Let's treat this episode and this conversation we're having today as a real life coaching session. So if you've ever done coaching with me, or if you haven't, I invite you to come and join us and find out more, right? If you go to thinkunbroken.com, you can actually schedule a free coaching call with me. But that said, let's look at this from the perspective of an in-person coaching session. All right. So here's what I would tell you if you were coming to me and you said, I'm not really sure what I want to do with 2025. Okay. The first thing that I would say is, let's grab a pen and a piece of paper. And on the top of this, what we're going to do is we're going to write the Triad of Life. Okay. Now you're going to cut that piece of paper into thirds. And 1/3, you're going to write health. And 1/3, you're going to write wealth. And in the other third, you're going to write relationships. Okay? Because health, wealth, and relationships ultimately are everything about our life, our journey, and the experiences that we're having. So in the first section, what you're going to need to do in here is write down your goals around your health. What do you want your health to look like? Now, you have to get very clear. Most people make the mistake when they create goals of making them very vague. I want to be healthier in 2025. That's not going to work, right? What you need to do is say, I want to work out 3 times a week for 30 minutes every single week, right? That is a goal with clarity. Maybe it's health. I want to stop drinking more than 1 time per week. Or maybe it's even, I don't want to drink at all. Now, when you get into wealth, now it's a conversation around money and finances, perhaps financial freedom. I'll give you a great example. This is a personal example of mine this year. I want to invest into a new coach who's going to take me to a new level in my relationships. Okay? That's how do I get a better relationship with my friends, intimate, family, with everyone around me, clients. How do I lead through example and learn from someone that I see in the world who has amazing relationships with people? So I put that as a tick list on there. It could also be, I want to separate myself from my family because they're not allowing me the space that I need to become an individual and be my full authentic self, right? So you can see these goals, they're not always necessarily about something big and ambitious. Sometimes they're just about normalizing your life. And finally, in relationships, this one gets really interesting, right? It's the same idea. So what you do, just spend 10 minutes in each section and write down goals with clarity about what you want 2025 to look like in your health, your wealth, and relationships. Because when you do this, now you have a direction to go. And instead of living life by circumstance, you start living life by design. This is one of the things that I focused a lot on over the course of the last couple months, just building and creating clarity around what's in front of me, what I want to accomplish, how I want my life to look, and who I want to have this life with. And so this is a key way to start to build not only authenticity, but authority over your own life, because so many people are just letting life happen to them instead of going and creating it. And one of the things that's really interesting about the aspect of trauma, when you factor that into this conversation, if you've spent your whole life in survival mode, not having the space to fully authentically be you, then when you make a decision as an adult to do whatever is required to become yourself, you are walking down the path of healing. Because ultimately, healing is really about authenticity and revealing the truth of who it is that you are. So 2025 is an exciting time. I know that there's chaos in the world. There's always going to be chaos in the world. The next thing, I assure you, my friends, is coming. But if you can put yourself in a position to be successful because of your clarity and the goals you're choosing to create, no matter what happens in the outside world, you will still be in control. And that, my friend, is what it means to be unbroken. So again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your time, your effort, your energy, for showing up here week in, week out for years and years and years. We have a lot of amazing guests on the docket for 2025, some phenomenal conversations. I'm going to be back with you with more frequency, sharing my ideas, my mission, my journey, but also the tips and tricks about how you can continue to go deeper into this healing. And again, you can hop on thinkunbroken.com at any time to schedule a free coaching call with me. All right, my friend, until next time, be unbroken.